He couldn't imagine Anya handling that at 23, and she had the maturity of a 16-year-old. She clung to him like a child that night, and he never left her side. It was a terrible situation. Gregorio was shaken by it too. The contractions slowed for a little while, then picked up at midnight and got stronger again, and then she started dilating. They had given her an IV of steroids to try and increase the baby's lung capacity if they were born, but it was too early, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, they told them it was unlikely that her labor could be stopped. A special neonatal team was brought in while she was closely monitored, and labor began in earnest. But instead of the joy of anticipation normally associated with a birth, there was a sense of dread and resignation in the room. Whatever happened now, they all knew it wouldn't be good. The only questions were just how bad it would be and if the twins would survive. Anya was terrified and screamed with every pain. They gave her no drugs to ease the contractions so as not to risk the babies further, but eventually they gave her an epidural to lessen the pain, and to Gregorio it all looked fierce. She had tubes and monitors everywhere, and as the labor progressed, both babies began to show signs of distress with each contraction. But she was fully dilated, so they told her she could push. Gregorio was horrified, watching what she was going through, but stayed staunchly at her side. He finally forgot about his wife entirely. All he could think about was this poor, pathetic girl, clinging to him in terror and sobbing between contractions. She was almost unrecognizable in the condition she was in. This was not the racy, flamboyant girl he had met and slept with on a lark. Their son was born first, at 6 a.m. He was blue when he emerged, a tiny infant who didn't look fully formed and had to fight for his first breath. He was whisked away the instant the cord was cut and rolled down the hall in an incubator to the neonatal ICU with 2 doctors and a nurse. With a respirator already in place, the infant was struggling for his life. His skin was so thin you could see his veins through it. His heart stopped an hour after he was born, but he was revived by the team attending to him, and they told Gregorio that his chances for survival were not good. As he listened to what they said, tears rolled down Gregorio's cheeks. He hadn't expected to be so moved by the sight of his first child being born, and in such dire distress. The baby looked like a creature from another world, with wide, staring eyes that were begging them to help. Gregorio couldn't stop crying as he looked at him, and Anya was incoherent from the pain. The little girl came 20 minutes later, slightly bigger than her brother and with a stronger heart. Each weighed less than 2 pounds, but her lungs were as inadequate as his. They put her on a respirator, and a second team whisked her away. Anya began hemorrhaging after the second birth, which took them time to control and required 2 transfusions, and Gregorio saw that she looked gray. And then they mercifully gave her something to make her sleep after the trauma she'd been through, and they warned both of them again that the babies might not survive. Both were in critical condition, and it would be a long time before they were safe if they lived. The days ahead would be crucial. The doctor spoke to Gregorio again after Anya was sedated and unconscious. He went to see the babies in their incubators then and just stood there and cried. He was so moved by the tiny beings, his children. It had been a hard night for him too, and the worst lay ahead. He had no idea what he would say to Benedetta now. This was all so much more intense than anything he had imagined. He had believed it would all work out somehow, and now clearly it wouldn't. Or not for a long time. There was no escaping reality and the consequences of his actions. A nurse told him that Anya would sleep for a few hours from the shot she'd been given, and he realized that this was his chance to go back to the hotel. It was 8 in the morning by then, and he hadn't called Benedetta all night. There had been no chance to do so, and once Anya woke up, he might not be able to get away again. She had no family in Western Europe, just a mother in Russia she hadn't seen in years, and no one else to help her. He was it. And there were the babies to think of now. He had felt instantly attached to them, which had come as a shock to him. He took a cab back to the hotel and walked into the Georges V, feeling as though he had returned from another planet. Here everything seemed normal, and the way it had been the night before, when they left for the white dinner. It seemed odd to see such ordinary life around him, people leaving for meetings, going to breakfast, walking through the lobby, checking in.